Hello, are you ready to unlock the power of your data and predict future trends with confidence? Welcome to Solo channel. In this video, I will guide you through the art and science of data forecasting, from essential techniques to practical applications. You will learn everything you need to become a forecasting pro. But before we dive in, be sure to like and share this video. Also hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you never miss out our future videos. Now, let's dive in.
All right, to forecast using Microsoft Excel, we are going to be making use of these data sets. Let's take, for example, ABC stores recorded this revenue over this time period. And using this historical data, we want to forecast what will be the revenue on the 1st of July 2015. And that is one of the stuff that data forecasting can help us to achieve. Is an aspect in analysis that we refer to as predictive analysis, where we predict the future event, future result, future revenue of our businesses, of our results, whatsoever that has to do with times and data alongside with it we can forecast. And in Excel there are different aspects in forecasting, where we have the linear forecasting, we have ETS, we have seasonality, and we have confined. These four aspects in forecasting helps us to forecast accurately. However, to use linear forecasting, which we call focus.linear, it has to be a data that is on the upward trend or on the downward trend. When we use this aspect of forecasting called focus.ets, it has to deal with data set that has seasons in it. Maybe during the rainy season there is a dip in sales, during the dry season there is upward in sales, and this goes round and round over a period of time. And that is why we use the seasonality, is what we use to check if there are seasons in our data. So let's look at this data set and see if in this historical data set whether there are seasons in our data. So we say equals to forecast. We are going to make use of seasonality. We double click focus.ets.seasonality. ETS stands for exponential triple smoothing. So we are going to have these values. We select our values from our historical data and then backward space, and we press comma and then our timeline. Control Shift down and we hit enter, and there we go. In this data set we have 7 seasons. So the data set we are working with is that has season in it. So for this video, for this data set, for you to predict or forecast accurately, close to being very, very accurate, it is highly recommended that you use focus.ets, because your data is a data that has to do with seasons, seasonality. If it's a data that is on the upward trend or downward trend, you make use of focus.linear. However, for the sake of this video, I'm going to use this data set to show us how we can forecast using the focus.linear. We are going to say equals to focus. We select focus.linear. Our X is our focus date. Then we hit comma. Our Y is our revenue, which is the dependent variable. We'll Control Shift down arrow. Remember to press your F4 in order to lock it, and hit comma. And then our known X, which is the dependent variable, we select it, the timeline. Also remember to press F4 to lock it, and here we go. You hit enter. That is our result. This is what we have as regards to focus.linear. If I double click here, I will have the rest of them calculated. However, like I said earlier, this result is not really the best results as regards to forecasting. We are going to make use of focus.ets. So to do that, we say equals to, we type FO, then this comes out, we select focus.ets. While we double click, the target date remains our focus date, then comma, our values remains revenue, the historical revenue. Hold Control, hold Shift, and press down arrow. Remember to press your F4 to lock it so that we can drag it down and this will not move. And then we press comma and to our timeline. Hold Control, hold Shift, and press down. Remember to press your F4. Beautiful. And this is what we have. Now, The other ones are optional, is seasonality, date of completion. We want Excel to dictate the seasonality, and therefore we're going to hit enter. This becomes our result. You see there is a slight difference between this and this. And if you notice, this is on the increase trend, is on the upward trend, is moving upward. Now let's move this. We double click. We notice this, there once it comes down, at time it goes up, sometimes it comes down, and that is due to seasons. We can look at our data sets that is due to seasons. It puts into consideration. However, also one might ask, is this result 100% accurate? Is this result 100% trustworthy? That is where our focus.conference comes into play, where we get the confidence interval, which will help us to predict within a certain range, because forecasting is prediction and is not 100% accurate. That's why we predict within a range. So to get our confidence interval, we are going to have to say equals to type focus, and here we go, focus.ets.confine, because our data set is a data set that has season. We are going to select the target date, comma, and then we go to our values, which is our revenue. Hold Control, hold Shift down, and remember to lock it, F4. After that, your comma, and we look at this timeline, which is our date, the historical date. Hold Control, hold Shift, and down. Remember to press F4 as well. That becomes our timeline. Now, this is the confidence interval that in general, the general confidence interval is 95%. However, you can choose your confidence interval. You can choose 90, you can choose 99, depending on your confidence level. So here I'm going to put 95%. And let us know that if we leave it like that, Excel will assume the standard confidence interval of 95%. However, why I put it here is that we can decide to change it another time to 90, to 95, to 100, to 99, as the case may be, and others we update. Now, having done that, we can say we hit enter, and this is the confidence. This is our confidence interval as regards to what we have, and let's drag it down. This becomes our result. Now with this, we can now say that we have this. We can now from here get the upper bound and then the lower bound, and with that we can say we are confident that the result, that our revenue on 1st of July 2015 will fall between these two range. And to get the upper bound, let me put here upper bound. And then we have here, we say equals to, upper bound will be our confidence interval plus our revenue, the forecast revenue, and we hit enter. That becomes our upper bound. And then our lower bound will be, for lower bound, we have it to be equals to our revenue forecast minus the confidence interval, and we hit enter. You see that our result is in the negative, and that is what we have. We double click this down, and then we double click this to fill the rest, some negative, some positive, and that is our upper bound and lower bound. Also in this, we can decide to say, okay, our confidence, we have 90% confidence. We can change it, and here we go. That changes when we drag this down. It changes as well. We see that there are changes in our result as it is. However, there is a more faster way of doing all this that Excel will give it to us on clicks of button. However, in using what we call the focus sheet, it has limit to what it can forecast. One of the advantage of using this is that you can predict for the next 10 years using this approach. You can predict for the next 5 years using this approach. But for the focus sheet, it is limited to the number of months or the number of periods that it can forecast. Okay, to do that, let's see how we do that. Let's head over to data. Under data, we have focus sheet. As we click on focus sheet, immediately Excel selects this historical data. You notice that the active cell is within the historical data, and this is what we have. Now there are options here. You can see your start date, you can see the end date. This is on August 14th, 2015. Now if I change this to 2016 and come to this, Excel automatically dictates that this is 7, that it has seasonality of 7. Remember, we are working with 90. Let me change this to 90. Automatically it affects my data, and you notice that when I put other stuffs, 2016 is removed and brought back to 2015. And this is the limitation, a bit of the limitation of focus sheet. So if we click down, we can say we want to stop at here. We can say we want to stop at July 31st of July. That is what we are forecasting. If you want to change the seasonality, you can click here and change the seasonality, but we want Excel to automatically dictate that for us, and then we click on create. Now Excel does to bring in a new sheet where it shows us the forecast aspect. Now this is kind of similar to what we have in the previous sheet where we did our forecasting kind of manual. Now if we come down to this, if we go down to this place, we begin to see where we start to forecast. This is our forecast revenue. You notice that is our result, and this one is what we have, the lower bound and the upper bound, which is the upper confidence bound is the lower confidence bound. The same result is what we have. And if I click here, you will notice that Excel uses the same formula as we used in this aspect. Now, like I said, the limitation of using focus sheets is that it doesn't focus for a longer period of time. However, if you are forecasting within a short period of time, you can do well to make use of focus sheet. That will do it very fast and very easy for you. However, if you are having to make forecasting of 5 years, 4 years, 2 years, 10 years, as the case may be, this becomes the best approach to use. And I believe you have learned how to forecast using Microsoft Excel. Congratulations. If you like this video, if you found this video helpful, please do well to hit the like button, share this video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on our new tutorials on Excel skills and other tech skills. Till then, keep exploring, and thank you for stopping by. I will see you in the next video.